You know those movies that all the critics hate?
It stinks. Hated it.
You actually love them?
I love it, I love it, I love it.
That was awesome.
We know those movies too, and we're gonna give them the love that they deserve. This is The Recount. The idea of this is to talk about movies that you may like, but have terrible Rotten Tomato scores. And we're gonna start with a classic, but first we're gonna introduce everybody. I'm your host, Chris, and we got Ricky. Say hello, Ricky.
What's up, everybody? Ricky, a.k.a. Quarter. You already know.
Ricky's lovely fiance, Ro,
Hey, everybody.
and my beautiful girlfriend, Tara.
Hey, TB on the track.
And once again, I'm the host, Crispy Chris, as that everybody knows me by.
Everybody.
Everybody knows that. And we're going to jump right in. All right, and from what you heard from the soundtrack, the song there, we're going to be talking about Blankman, 1994 movie starring Damon Wayans, David Alan Grier, and the super sexy Robin Givens.
Yes, amen to that.
Whopping 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, a huge 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, made basically no money
Yeah.
in the box office, but became a cult classic over time.
Did you look up what it made in the box office?
It
Anybody
made-
want to take a guess if you don't know?
I'm going to say like less than 10 for sure, like maybe 7 to 10.
I think it made like $300,000.
Ro gives it no credit at all.
Zero credit. I did look it up beforehand. So
I did also.
Tara was right on point with her 7 to 10.
Yeah, it's like 7.9 million
Yeah.
it made.
I'm just a genius. I knew it.
Who
I couldn't
went
find
to
a budget
I
anywhere.
didn't see the budget either and how much it actually cost.
I
that?
mean,
So maybe it did make money. Because
Well,
I don't
it's-
think it did not cost that
It
much
was still considered a failure, so I don't know if it made
Yeah.
its money back.
I think they probably spent a lot of money on this, even though it didn't look that great. But back then,
I mean, Robin Givens was hot in the 90s. She probably cost like a couple of mil to like even
Yeah.
star in there.
Exactly.
I mean, she did this, she did Boomerang, Mike Tyson beat her up, and I feel like she was never heard from again.
She did
So,
Playboy around this time.
except for the trial.
I'll be looking
God.
that up later.
Oh my god.
But this was written by Damon Wayans in the midst of the popularity of In Living Color.
Yep.
I don't know, I guess I'm surprised that it didn't make that much money considering In Living Color was popular and Damon Wayans was probably the best guy on that show.
Yeah, I guess word of mouth just kind of doomed it once that opening weekend
Right.
came out and people were like, this is just really weird. We don't know if this is supposed to be like a spoof of superheroes or like an actual superhero movie that they tried to make like the ghetto Batman. Who knows?
Yeah, because I think like wasn't like the Michael Keaton Batman movies popular around this time?
Well, that came out in 89.
But like, wasn't there like another in like 95?
Batman Returns came out in 92.
Okay, so yeah,
Um,
around the time, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of, I don't know if it's inspiration or parody of Batman. They start out watching Batman.
Yep.
It's clear that he's a Batman fan.
Mm-hmm.
What I took from it, it reminded me a lot of Kick-Ass. Have you
Yeah.
seen Kick-Ass?
Yeah,
Yeah,
a long
yeah.
time
So
ago.
it was like the Kick-Ass before the Kick-Ass. It's like somebody who wants to be a superhero and clearly is not.
It's just
and
terrible.
Yeah.
just gets beat up and
So
screams like a
wrong.
lady all the time.
I think the tie-ins to
His screams are the best.
the tie-ins to Batman too with like all the bootleg gadgets. So it's like
Right.
if Batman was broke, how would he do it?
But also really good at taking household appliances and
Exactly.
making things. Because
And also, one of my biggest questions is Daryl autistic?
Probably. I mean,
He's
he's on the spectrum,
He's
probably
somewhere
for
on
sure.
that spectrum. So if Batman was autistic and broke
And black.
and black,
and lived across the street from a crack house in Chicago.
And was 30 years old living with his grandmother.
Yeah.
I love how he just runs into the crack house like, I'm going to save the day now. And his brothers pulls him out of that. Like, what do you think you're doing?
Just going to stop the crack epidemic by running in there.
that one house, he's gonna shut it down, and that'll be it.
So what else did we...
I thought it was hilarious. Definitely one of the most ridiculous movies I've ever watched, but I remember like growing up watching it, and I mean obviously watching it for this today. I hadn't seen it in maybe 15 years, so it brought back a lot of like good memories. But yeah, I loved it. I think it's like definitely like a really good stupid movie, like something you watch when like it's like a rainy day of nothing else to do. You just want to like have silly laughter.
Comes on TBS.
Yeah,
randomly.
it's so good. I love it. I think I take it for what it's worth for sure.
I also thought that it had a lot of funny stuff that I didn't catch when I was younger. Like a lot of the way that like Kevin talks to him, or just like
His orgasm.
Yes.
Oh my! When I was a
God.
kid, I had no idea. I was like, oh, like he's just like freaking out.
Yeah. His first kiss. Oh, okay.
and he like literally like orgasmed every time that they kissed for like a really long time.
I was going to ask, did anybody notice the sexual innuendos? Not just the fact that he came in his pants when Robert Gibbons kissed him, but when he was trying to get the lady out of the elevator and he lubed up that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and,
I was gonna say.
Hold on,
he-
I wrote down what it was called. It was called.
I was.
Shoot,
I was gonna
the
say-
speculum of life. That was the name of his tool.
And he literally lubed it up, and he lubed up the doors.
Yeah.
I think-
So he can squeeze it in there.
In my notes, I put down Blankman moonlights as an elevator gynecologist.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely the nostalgic thing. I'm pretty sure the last time I saw it was like on TBS, probably early 2000s when it was just on randomly one day. I definitely saw the tie-ins to Batman there, and I think I didn't know if the name Blankman was just like they couldn't come up with a good name, or if it was just so that it would fit like more superheroes. So
like
like
closer to Batman.
yeah.
It's probably another sexual reference too, like shooting blanks. Like he's like a virgin, like completely geeky.
Maybe I
never had a
didn't even
girlfriend.
think about that. Yeah.
Or just like they don't have a name, so it's just like blank,
Yeah,
like
like-
space.
Just like
Mhm.
other guy.
Yeah, exactly. Slash Karate Man. I also had that one down.
Oh, and you know, you mentioned the orgasms when they kissed, but like whenever he would like figure out a name for something like that, he would be like, "Yeah." It was just really weird. No, I did like it a lot when I was a kid, especially seeing him all the time on A Living Color, really brought it all together.
This was the first time I've seen it.
That's amazing to me.
That is terrible news,
And
friends. I can't believe you've never seen it.
When Tara said this is what we're watching, I was like, oh boy,
Yeah.
here we go. But I was actually surprised at how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so good.
I realize it's a bad movie,
Yeah.
but it's still.
Funny.
I can see how it's a cult classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The fact that there's some parts of it that are very clever.
Yeah, and it holds up, I think, for like
Yeah,
today.
sure.
Like a lot of movies from back then, like you can't even watch just because they're so, I don't know, 90s, I guess. But this was 90s, but it still worked if you're watching it in 2017.
Yeah, I think so, and that's why I referenced Kick-Ass before. I wouldn't be surprised if the people who made Kick-Ass were fans of this movie in some way.
And even like talking about Batman, it made me like I think Manelli, the bad guy, the villain of the film, he really reminded me of the Penguin.
I was
felt
just
like
gonna say Danny DeVito.
and the way he spoke, his height, the way he dressed, the way he kind of like popped up out of the ground in the bank scene, like it was very, very like I'm like all of the like conferences at the town hall and everything was very much like the Michael Keaton Batman.
Well, that guy, I don't know his name, but he always plays a loudmouth mob boss type of villain.
But only in like cheesy, corny movies, like never like a serious movie. He's
Yeah.
always the bad guy.
Was he in Blank Check too? I feel maybe not. He was
I don't
in one of
remember
those
that one.
other movies that's very similar in the 90s that he was a bad guy too.
Is he a voice actor also? I feel like I've heard his voice in like maybe a cartoon or
Yeah,
something
that wouldn't
else.
surprise me.
Yeah.
But the one thing that bugged me about the movie was the connection between Minnelli and the mayor. I thought the mayor was dirty after they kill Blankman's grandmother, and then when he is mayor, he's like, I'm gonna make sure you go to jail, and then like you see that
Yeah, I
relation.
think-
Like I didn't get what the relationship was.
I think he
Probably-
went back and forth. Because when the grandma was first supporting him, she was saying that he was really good. He's the only person who's ever been to that neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. And they were all for it, and she was working with him. But I think there was a voiceover on the radio that was really quick, but it said something basically, he won in a landslide victory. And this was right after the 3 people from his council had been killed, including the grandma. And they said something like, oh, he won, but he's already signed on some of Minnelli's people. So I think he just got muscled into it, and basically once those people died, he didn't feel like putting up more of a fight.
I think there's also some deleted scenes that probably would have made it make more sense that just didn't make the final cut. they're probably trying to keep it around an hour and a half, and whatever happened, they just.
We should email about that.
Is there a Blankman director's cut? Is that something
We
that
should buy the
exists?
DVD and see if they have the
They
deleted
probably
scenes.
do.
You think it's on Blu-ray somewhere?
It's probably on tape somewhere.
I think the mayor was like he was good at first, and then something came out where like the mob boss probably had some dirt on him or something, and or bought him out, but then he just finally decided I can't keep doing this. I like that woman died, or those people died in my office because of this.
Mm.
I have to do what's right, whatever. And then that's when he got blown up.
No, that makes sense. It just would have been better if they explored that a little bit more.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I feel like we should probably give a synopsis of like what the film is. I think we've jumped all over the place
Yeah.
and didn't really like.
If
say
you haven't
what
watched
the-
this movie, stop listening
It's-
and go back and watch it.
the greatest movie
It'll make more
ever.
sense.
So give a quick synopsis then.
Okay, so for those of you unfamiliar, Blankman was a 1994 superhero film that was not based on any comic book. Starred Damon Wayans and David Allen Greer as his brother and reluctant partner in crime prevention. And Daryl is a genius, and that's who Blankman is. He's a nerdy man-child still living with his grandmother. And after she is murdered in cold blood, he decides to take the law into his own hands. Donning a ridiculous costume and a bunch of awesome gadgets, he begins to crusade to clean up the streets. That's kind of what the movie is about.
Doesn't he start too when, like, right after his grandma dies, another old lady's on the train and she gets her purse snatched?
And he starts to like fight this guy with like a knife
Mhm.
who had 10 minutes to get back on the train after being thrown off.
Really, the doors did not close for a really long time.
He's like, hey, man. So weird.
What's the woman's name that plays the grandmother?
Oh, I don't know.
No
Oh, I
idea.
call her Carmen Sandiego lady.
I was
I
gonna,
don't know her name.
every time I see her, I think of Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, she was like the woman in Carmen Sandiego.
the
like
head like detective lady, I guess.
Right.
Mm.
The one who was like Gumshoe. Great job,
Great
Gumshoe.
job.
She's also like she's in another movie. She's like a super annoying like tenor. Oh, she's in Free Mr. Clark. What's that movie? Lean on Me. She's the one who
I
wants to get
remember
Mr.
that movie.
Clark arrested. I don't know her name, but she was pretty popular in the 90s too as like a loudmouth
Mhm.
Old lady.
like old lady. Yeah.
Yeah, she had some great one-liners in this. Where when the mob boss villain came into the office, the mayor's office, or where they were campaigning, whatever.
Oh, trying to give them $1 million.
and she was like, he said something about something being short.
Life is short and so are
Yeah,
you. or
life is
something
short,
like,
and she
or-
was like, so must be that thing in your pants.
Oh my God,
That
yes.
one
I
had
love
me
that.
laughing out loud.
I literally wrote that down too. That was like one of my favorite things.
And the scene when she gets killed, and they come in, and I think she says, people would take you more seriously if you took a shower.
Yeah.
Or no, she
That's-
said, if you want to be anonymous, you
Oh
should
yeah,
take a
that's
shower.
you should take a shower.
And her last words ever.
That was her
spoken.
last. She was Thug Life though.
Yeah.
She
For
wasn't
real.
playing games.
Savage.
For real.
She's also another quick movie reference for her. She was the voice in The Warriors. If you ever saw that,
Okay.
she was the DJ that said Warriors were
Come
coming to
on.
get you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know
Huh.
that. That's
So-
interesting.
She was still like 70 years older, though. Like, she just never gets younger.
Well,
She's still alive.
that's what I said about David Allen Greer. No matter how, I don't know how old he was when the movie came out, but
But
he
he's-
always looks 50 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like
he's
since the
always
dawn of
been
time,
that
he's been
age.
50 years old.
Black don't crack, baby.
Well, apparently in his case, he was
Yeah.
never young. So, I mean,
Or he just was frozen in time and is like gonna be 50 forever.
so I don't know how old they were supposed to be. If they were in their 20s, I'm not buying it.
He's got the Pharrell syndrome, I guess.
No, he's,
The grandmother was in the movie for like 15 minutes, and she was disrespected so many times. Like, remember the guys outside fighting in the alley, and they
Mhm.
called her a crusty old bitch. Told her to shut up.
and then she threw the vase at the wrong person and helped them. They're like, thanks for the help, lady.
It also seemed that Robin Gibbons was into David Allen Greer for a little bit at first. I wasn't buying that either.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I thought she was like never
Until he
interested.
started talking into his,
Yeah.
into his
Yeah.
penis.
Oh yeah, I guess.
I
She
think
was
she
like,
was kind of into him at first.
Yeah, she did take his card, right?
Well,
Yeah.
she went all the way
I changed my
downstairs
mind.
for him too, like into the underground.
Oh yeah, to bring
floor.
him to her show.
Mm-hmm.
Did anybody have any favorite gadgets? I mean, all his little household items.
I like J5. I wish I could have one.
Yeah.
Oh, I would love a J5.
yeah.
I like the morning routine gadget. Like the
That-
first time
oh
we
my-
see him as an adult,
Brushing
and
his teeth.
brushing his
that
teeth, and it,
contraption.
Cleaning his
I think it
ears.
had cleaning his ears and like probably some other thing, but that was great.
Am I the only person that thinks like a lot of his like gadgets actually took a lot more time to like either
yes,
like a simple task of brushing your
Yeah.
teeth?
even in the beginning when they show them like trying to fix the rabbit ears or whatever to get the TV to work. Like that episode must have been like 3 hours long, because how did he get the time to like string across like 37 pots and pans and then stick his foot in the toilet, and then they're like, oh yeah, stay right there, and then they still watched the whole episode.
And for some reason, flushing the toilet made it better.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that. Like,
electricity.
does flushing the toilet fix the rabbit ears antennas on the television?
And just flushing the toilet makes it back up for some reason. Not you don't need a clog or anything. Just
How did he not have a headache? The TV was fuzzy. His glasses are crooked, so he can see out of one eye and not out of the other. Like, I would have had a complete headache as someone who wears glasses. Like, I don't know how he managed to like wear those glasses that are so crooked.
I get the glasses were part of his nerdiness, but it's
Clark
like
Kentness.
you can make all these inventions and you can't fix your glasses.
He has a fork
He has a
on
fork
one of
on
the
it.
legs. Yeah. It's
Like
pretty
rip
bad.
off something that looks more like an eyeglass leg from something you have.
I missed it, but like, how much did he give up? Like, when someone offered him money and he sent it back,
$5,000.
$5,000 worth of
Which is
junk.
like how much back there?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why his brother was flipping out.
yeah.
And
Disaster.
threw his own radio out the door.
So many
I like that J5 made it to the funeral for the grandma.
And had his own tissue.
And he was crying.
Every time you see Kimberly, hello, Kimberly.
Yeah.
I love
The only thing he
Kimberly.
could say. But that says a lot. The guy had strong feelings for Kimberly that he made the robot be able to only say that.
Well, I can't blame him.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you guys think of the boss, George Costanza in a wheelchair?
Oh god, he
What
was
was
his
so
name?
creepy.
I don't know his
Definitely a
name, but
creep.
something, I think Ed, because like when they were saying hard edition, he would be like hard ed edition.
Yeah. God.
That,
But
I guess that was like the first TMZ, I guess.
yeah, and he just reminded me of Lieutenant Dan in that wheelchair with like his military gear on.
Lieutenant Dan.
And then at the end when they're chained up, he's like hanging from the ceiling and
Yeah,
not
as
actually on
opposed
the
to
ground.
standing.
Yeah, he was definitely like a nut on the low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was
Very
definitely
weird
really
character.
gross.
When Minnelli kills the interviewer, he's like, now that's
Oh, yeah.
Edge.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw something else online where that was a Easter egg, because that actor is actually openly gay, and he asked him like, "Are you
Are
gay,
you
Pinelli?"
gay?
or
Yeah.
whatever his name was, and he just takes out the gun and shoots him. So
Okay, so there's homophobe references in there too. Greg Kinnear was the first movie for Greg
I
Kinnear.
read that too. That was pretty funny.
What a first
the,
movie
s-
to
yeah, the
have.
smallest part ever. I wonder if it was that black midget actor's first role too.
Nah, he's been in like a million things.
Before then,
Oh, Tony Cox?
Yeah.
is that his name? Tony Cox.
What was his
He was
name?
in
Midget Man.
Midget Man.
The greatest.
followed by Gay Man.
That's low key.
Gay man.
That's low key the greatest scene in that entire movie.
No,
Gay
when
man
he-
and midget man.
when the chair, he tries to pick up the chair and just
Eat
man,
shit.
eat shit. And he's like, "No, I got this. I got this."
And the host is saying, put the chair down. Stop
Don't
with the
ma-
chair.
Don't mess with
Don't mess the chair. But that's another, when I saw that scene, it reminded me again of Kick-Ass, of how,
Just
this
everyday
regular person just
yeah.
dresses up as a superhero. Now all these other people
Yeah.
are doing it.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a pretty interesting documentary. I don't know if you saw that, about like the real life version of that. I forget what city it was, but there's just like a bunch of people doing that, and like they're very strange. Like one guy just basically lives in his van and always keeps this cooler stocked with ice and beer. So he just like walk around the neighborhood, go back to his van and get a beer, and then go back out just like patrolling. But he like believes that he has super speed. But when he's on camera, he's like, "No, I can't show you the super speed. I can't show you the super strength."
I love this guy. I don't know who he is, but I love him already.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
look
think
this
it's
up.
on Netflix, so check that out if you.
Is he
haven't.
Beer Man?
Beer Man would
Beer
make
Man.
sense.
Speed man. I would love to be a superhero. I mean, I don't have any powers, but I would totally put on a costume and go out and like stop some purse snatchers.
Maybe we should go around and do like one power and your name, your superhero name.
Oh my god.
Lick girl. And I would have telekinesis, my favorite superpower.
I would have super strength. I'd probably just get rich with power, though. I'd probably just beat the shit out of everybody just for fun. Like, people I don't like would just get beat up. I would probably just be like, I don't even know what my name would be.
So far, we're the Beetleborgs. Just want you to know that.
The
Like
Beetleborg?
based on the powers we have, telekinesis
okay.
and super strength. So Ricky, you have to say super speed.
How did you fucking read my mind?
See,
I
we're-
swear,
so
super speed's always been one of my
now
favorites.
we know we're the Beetleborgs.
Like the Flash. My name.
Really fast boy.
Very inventive.
Fast man.
I don't know. That's tough.
Quick man.
Zoom.
1 minute
Like
man.
Flash.
I like Zoom. I used to like that show on PBS when I was a kid.
I
Come
nailed
on
it.
in, Zoom. Come on.
Yeah, I'll go
in,
with Zoom. I like it.
I love Zoom. That's my favorite. That was my other favorite show as a kid.
I think I would take invisibility,
Oh, that's a good one.
but not be
A perv.
Invisible Man. I think it'd be like Clear Man, you know, something something like that.
You can be like, oh no, powder. I guess that's.
Transparent man.
That has
See-through
nothing to
man?
do with how pale the color of my skin is.
No.
It could be transparent
He had a
man,
power
and
too.
then and then for short we'll call you trans.
Yeah. You know I love a good
Tran boy.
tranny.
Tranny.
Tranny mode.
Perfect.
I think we're the best band of superheroes
So now,
since
what
the
do our
Avengers.
another key topic in Blankman was obviously fashion. What would our outfits look like?
Oh
And you
my
can
God.
only make them from things in your house. Chris, I think you would use like the clear part of your
Saran-
shower,
Saran wrap.
or like your shower liner.
Chris
Yeah,
loves,
that would work.
Chris loves his DVDs. He would like make something like a suit of armor out of all his DVD cases.
Oh, just the cases.
Cases of DVDs for sure.
All the Blu-rays, so it would
What's
be
the
blue.
difference? There's no difference.
There is a difference.
There's no difference.
Ricky,
What's the
back me up,
difference?
but there's a difference between Blu-ray and regular DVD.
I mean,
Oh,
obviously,
of course
but like
there is.
it's
Thank
not
you.
significant
Regular
at
Ray?
all.
No, that's
Regular
like
rate.
totally significant.
No.
It's HD versus SD.
Oh my god.
It's totally different, Taron.
You guys are.
You're talking about
you guys
1080p
are bougie.
to 480.
You guys
Yikes.
are high maintenance.
1080, that's it.
Not 4K.
There's no difference.
There
I
is
only
a di-
notice a difference when it like half of your screen is black because the sides are black.
Yeah.
But when
Like
it's
watching
SD.
like watching Blankman today.
We had to rent it to watch it.
On what?
We couldn't find it.
On Voodoo. I rented it on Voodoo.
Oh, that's
Okay.
so
$4.99. Can you believe that?
funny. Money well spent.
Yeah,
$2.99.
we totally paid for it legitimately and did not pirate the movie at all.
On what was the website called? Like, I don't know, freemovies.to or some shit.
We're
We-
legitimate over here.
All right.
Good.
So
We're
Rose just
50-50.
totally incriminating us on the air right now.
I don't know. I don't know them. if
Sorry.
anyone of importance is listening.
I also really liked when he worked at McDonald's.
Oh,
And I literally wrote down, "Tu quieres papas fritas con tu Big Mac?" Because that literally had me dying.
you kind of nailed that too.
He did it really well.
What does that mean?
Do you want French fries with your Big Mac?
What else is really good?
He kept asking the guy what else he wanted. He's like, I just want my burger.
Yeah, he's like,
Like,
"You want
I-
French fries? What about a soda?"
What about a soda? Give me my burger, man. He's just angry today.
Oh, what did he? I think he said
He's
McMad.
McMad.
McMad, yeah, that was funny. That had me laughing. He's McMad.
Oh my god.
I like how it tied back to when Kevin, who David Ella Greer plays, said that he was going to karate. And then later in the alley, he was able to save his brother with his fucking roundhouse.
With his roundhouse kick.
Like, to the head. I was like, for a split second, you're like, how the fuck does he know how to, like,
Right.
do all these kicks? Oh, karate class.
Yeah, that I thought the same thing because I was gonna say, how the hell does he know karate? And I was like, okay, he mentions he's going
adult
to karate.
class.
Yeah, they kept calling him Karate Man or Other Guy.
I like the other guy. That's funny.
I like the other guy
Other
too.
guy's great.
Yeah, at the end, she's like, Blankman saves the day, and some other guy.
Well, I also like at the end when they like give him the award and then they give other guy a
T-shirt.
T-shirt.
A T-shirt of Blankman.
The same
Thanks-
shirt that Greg Kinnear was
Thanks for your
showing
help.
on.
So he lost everything. He got no credit for help saving the day. He got a Blankman T-shirt as his award.
He got
and
shot.
He got shot,
Yep.
and
He
he was
lost.
in love with
Yep.
Robin Givens' character, who falls in love with Blankman.
He
So
didn't get shit.
he got nothing.
Speaking of getting shot, why the hell would Daryl not make
I was
his
just
suit
thinking that.
bulletproof?
Did you see how
also?
much water was in that bathtub? Like there was more than enough bulletproofing agent.
That was
And
such
he even
bullshit.
said, P.S. wear your costume, making it seem like, oh, this will protect you. But nah, just for the fashion of
P.S. Just keep wearing this Michigan shirt for no reason.
that alley scene with Biff, I don't know,
Oh,
if
yeah,
he's
I was
a
like,
pimp
why
or
is his name
something.
Biff?
Where he's beating the shit out of that woman. Like if that, like, thank God that was the '90s. If that scene were in a movie today, it
Yeah,
would be
it would
so
not fly.
non-PC, and people would be freaking out that he's like beating up this woman in the alleyway, calling women bitches.
Yeah.
It's
He's like,
definitely
"I need my
hilarious.
money."
And then he slaps the shit out of Blankman. He's like,
Well, that's the thing about a lot of movies from back then is anything today would be scrutinized.
Yeah.
Like even the idea of midget man and gay man.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
calling
People
him
would be upset
midget
about
man.
And the way Gay Man was
The,
dressed with like the
yeah.
dominatrix outfit.
I was thinking about that when I was watching that scene. Like, how did that little person feel about being called Midget Man? And
Because I'm pretty sure watching like Little Women Atlanta and Dallas, like they don't like being called midgets. It's like a rude word, so
Yeah.
like that people would freak today for
Yeah.
sure. What'd you guys think of his little bike that he had on the subway track or whatever the hell that was?
I like how he couldn't hear every time someone's like, "Oh, this is great." He's like, "What? I can't hear."
Yeah, he
I can't
turns
hear
it off.
anything.
And
annoying.
once turn it off, completely turn it off, and like even though there was a train behind them, he's like, "What? What did you say? Like, let me turn this off real quick." And she's like, "Can you go, please?"
She's like, never mind. He's like, okay. I'm like, he
They-
understands never mind.
I feel like they could have definitely got rid of that scene and put some more background in like the mayor and why he was flip flopping between being corrupt or not. Like that scene was so pointless.
And it was really long too. It felt like, okay, like we get it. She can't hear or he can't hear her. Another part I didn't like about the car was that there was a little screen, but the screen just showed the front.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not even a
Same
backup
thing I can
camera.
see, yeah.
Like, it's not like you could see the train behind you. You're just looking at a smaller version of real life.
Yeah, I don't know if it was supposed to be like night vision or something maybe, but it just looked
I
the
don't
same.
know. I think maybe it was also like very cool at that time when we don't have stuff like that, whereas now you have so many
Yeah.
different options for a vehicle.
True.
And then I also thought that because the car had to belong to the right, why didn't he just build a sidecar instead of having to have people behind him? Like his brother was like holding on to him.
Yeah, that's
And
where
he
I thought
could
she
have
was
just made
gonna
a
sit.
sidecar.
I thought she was gonna sit like in that little
Yeah,
thing
me
on
too.
the side. But
And then J5 was back there too.
Every
All
time
three of
to
them were on that thing.
J5,
Yeah.
I thought of Johnny 5 from
Mhm.
Short Circuit.
Mm.
I don't think
That
I've
had-
seen
it had
Short
to
That
be a
probably
reference,
was why.
right?
Yeah, it's probably a
Short
reference.
Circuit was an 80s thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know when they find the train station though, and he has like those two little grocery carts that he's like pushing to try and find all like the different locations. I also like that J5 had his own little wagon. I don't know what was in it, but he had his own wagon.
And my favorite part probably of the movie is when they're in the tank, it's filling up with water, and he's like, "Don't worry, J5's gonna save us." And J5 is falling down the stairs.
like 18 different flights of stairs. I'm like, J5 is not gonna make it.
He's like, he's swiftly on his way to save us. And, like, how did he not break falling down 4 flights of stairs?
Lands on his wheels perfectly at each flight.
He's got his little pom-pom as his face with the 2 flashlights of his eyes.
Yeah, that reminded me of like the Fry Guys from McDonald's, like back in the day.
Oh,
you know those?
yeah.
J5's death was probably the saddest part of the entire.
Yeah,
Like, I
I
can't
cried.
believe he. I screamed with Daryl when he screamed no. I was doing the same exact thing. J5.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. for sure.
Yeah, I think I wrote that too. R.I.P. J5.
Another scene I liked was when they took Daryl to the therapist. And the therapist was like, "Oh, like he's like, not only is he normal, he's a genius. He's just a fucking geek." And I was like, "Wow, this doctor is diagnosing him with geekness, and that's it." I loved it.
When they showed him like the boobs, he's like, "What's this?" He's like,
It's like, "Oh, I don't know.
"Whoa."
I gotta think about this one.
And that therapist was the director.
Oh, was
Oh,
Mike
that's
Binder.
funny.
Yeah.
Mike, what?
it? What else?
Mike Binder.
What else has he done since then? Anything?
That I'm
Or in
not
general.
sure. I looked him up because I thought he was somebody else, and then that's why I saw that he was the director.
Oh, okay. Well, while Tara looks that up, how about the fact that Kevin is a super creep, like when he's trying to hit on Robin Givens the whole
Oh,
time?
he's so disgusting.
Yeah, he's like in the elevator, like the cliche thing, or when she says something about letting him in, like I guess to her show, and
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
"Well, I'm in, but not really
Not
in where I want to
not
be."
where I want to be. But she seemed to like it.
Right.
Like she wasn't.
Yeah, she
didn't
wasn't
really
pulling
seem
away.
disgusted by him at any point.
I feel like that's also just the product of the 90s where you couldn't even act like you were disgusted by that.
Yeah, you just had to like laugh and play
So
along.
Mike Binder has done some notable things. He did Minority Report in 2002.
Okay.
He directed that.
Yeah.
No, Steven Spielberg directed that movie.
It says it here, Chris.
Maybe
Google.
Spielberg.
I-
I could prove you wrong later because I have it.
I mean, listen.
He
fight
would
with
whip out his Blu-ray.
fight with Google, not me.
Maybe Spielberg produced it.
No, he directed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, also on this list, Black or White, Reign Over Me, The Upside of Anger, Man About Town, The Sex Monster,
So nothing like
and The Contender.
groundbreaking.
Minority Report is great.
But
Tom
according to
Cruise.
you, he didn't do
He,
it.
he didn't direct. Well, he didn't direct it. That's for sure.
Chris, stop trying to steal his shine. Maybe he did.
Oh, you know one thing that I didn't like? So when they're in the bank, the hole that Manelli comes out of, why didn't they throw the bombs in that hole?
Yeah.
Because it had to have gone somewhere else.
I
I mean,
mean,
maybe it would have still
The
blown
explosion
it up.
was pretty huge, like when they jumped out, so it probably would have still killed him.
Yeah, it would have done some
Where
significant
was-
damage.
Where was J5? Because he contained, or I guess we needed to save him for the future bomb.
Yeah, but you know what?
Duffel
Now
bag?
that you think about like the explosion with J5 versus the explosion at
Right,
the
it was
bank,
the same amount
it was
of
Right.
duffel bag full of
like what
dynamite.
the mad inconsistent, but whatever.
Also, the timing, like when they would show the bomb, it was like 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Yeah, the scene went on for like they had like an 8-minute conversation. I'm like, this bomb would have went off a long time ago. Like all of the bomb scenes were like weird. They had like 30 seconds, but we had like 30 minutes of content in
Why
between.
didn't he also, like, he got himself out of those chains really easily? Why didn't he have a gadget that could just break the chain so the mayor could run out?
I wonder what his little box of Sucrets did. His belt was a Sucrets can.
Oh.
I wonder what that was.
Which was what again? What is Sucrets?
Isn't it like a?
It's like cough drops.
Yeah, it's like a
Cough
cough, like
drops.
throat drops or something like that.
They're like the Ludens or whatever those are.
I was
Same
pretty
thing.
sad when the mayor died too, Mayor Harris. Like I thought that was sad. Like it's like it sucks when there's nothing no one can do to save you.
And he
And
was
you have
like,
to watch
just
everyone
leave.
leave. Yeah, you have to
Mhm.
watch people leave, and like they're like, "Sorry, boy, gotta go."
And those stupid, I mean, I guess it's probably still kind of how the Chicago cops tend to be, but they were like, well, it was on him.
And the
They're
whole
like, you'll figure it out, Blankman. I'm like, you have like 50 cops back here. You can't get a couple people to help the mayor?
the
Nah.
mayor lost his life, and the city lost all their money because all of the money of the town blew up with him. That sucked.
Yeah, and Manelli only had like 3 or 4 of his cronies. Like, you have guns, you shoot people all the time, just kill them.
Worst cronies of all time.
Why would they rob the civic center and wear masks, and then the guy comes in and kills them and he has no mask on at all?
Why did they even
That-
kill him
I
in the
found
first
that
place?
weird.
That-
Yeah, like, just don't wear the mask.
Yeah,
if you
don't-
plan on
if
killing
you're gonna
them,
kill him, why wear a
why
mask
are
at
you
all?
hot in the mask?
I
Just,
also,
I think the masks were just so that they could throw in that line, the grandma's line about being anonymous. there.
that's a good one. I also like when they're looking for the bomb at the end. And he's like, "Oh, the women's bathroom, the one place we can't go into."
And Kevin just pushes him like, "Shut up."
So overall, even though it's only got a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes,
I think we should just start a petition to get that moved up. We should just start giving it hundreds.
I think we should
Try
start
and
a
break the
petition for a
average.
sequel. I would love to see what Blankman is up to 20 plus years later.
So not picking up right where we left off, but like
Yeah, like
old man Blankman.
yeah, I love it.
I mean, he's still around. So is David Allen Greer.
Yeah.
They should do
you
it.
just gotta find Robin Givens somewhere.
Oh, man, she's... I don't know
She's
where
around. She's doing things, I think.
she is.
What?
Tyson might still be holding her prisoner.
So overall, I would say that I think I gave it 2.5 stars
Out of?
Out of 5.
out of 5.
Oh, she was in a movie this year. God's Not Dead 2.
See?
That could be our next movie.
God's not dead.
I
Too.
mean, that
No,
sounds
I
fire.
Oh,
don't-
she was in Head of State.
Yeah.
That was
Oh
pretty
my
recent.
God,
that
Head
was
of State.
so
That was
funny.
not pretty recent. Head of State is at least. I would say Head of State is probably like
Yeah,
15
2003.
years old.
Yeah, that was the
Alright.
early 2000s, I think. But 2.5 stars out of 5. Definitely not terrible. It's a fun watch. It's cheesy, corny goodness. It
Yeah.
has a lot of moments that'll make you laugh, and even some moments that'll make you sad, like when J5 dies.
J5 was the biggest
Spoiler
loss.
alert.
Yeah.
Big spoiler.
If you're listening, you should have already watched Blankman.
Yeah.
Yeah, not like me, who saw it for the first time at 31 years old.
Been
It
under-
came out in 1994.
You've been under a rock for 31 years, but you've seen
just
like
glad
Freddy
you-
got fingered.
100 times, probably.
Worst,
Yeah, probably.
worst movie ever.
Oh, she's on a show right now. Riverdale. That show just came out.
Like the
Okay.
CW
The
show,
CW show
about
about
Yeah.
Archie.
Comics.
Yeah.
She's, I guess, the
Oh, wow.
principal.
Chris,
or
she looks
something.
exactly the same.
There's a show
Yeah.
about
It hasn't
Archie.
aged.
Yeah, I'll give her a call then.
Oh my god. Bye.
Any final thoughts
Um,
about Blankman?
No, I say 2.5 stars is pretty spot on. Not really quality at all, but entertaining nonetheless, even how many years? 22, 23 years later.
Damn.
So,
I give it also 2.5 in quality, but for entertainment purposes I give it like a 4. I think I laughed maybe every 5 minutes, so that's that's pretty good.
Hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of laughs.
It's a lot of laughs.
Yeah, I would agree in giving it like a 3.5 to a 4 because of the fact that the quality was so low and it still achieved so much. Yeah, and I really like their outfits.
It's a must-watch. For
It's
sure.
a contender for Halloween outfit this year. We
You
can
guys-
all 4 be characters.
No,
Chris, you can be the
two-
wheelchair guy.
No, Chris is the mayor.
You guys should just do
Or Manelli.
Blankman and the other guy.
Wait, no, we have Blankman, the other guy, Manelli, and the wheelchair guy.
I'm down.
People will just think that Lieutenant Dan.
No, he won't have hair. You have to get wig caps. All
I
right.
love it.
So
A lot of bald people in that movie, actually.
there's a lot of baldness in that movie. So that brings us to the close of our first edition of Three Men's in a White.
Woo!
And Blankman,
Go watch it.
go watch it. As
Go
you
rent
said,
it.
it's
It's-
cheesy, corny fun for a rainy day, and I guarantee you'll laugh.
It's fire.
All right, so
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Later.
Yo, ain't that